This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
We have a powerful morning feel in the air as this lioness slowly stalks her way through this grass towards some sort of animals down at the bottom of this clearing. Very exciting. Welcome, everyone, to your live safari from the African bush. So we are following this lion pride that we heard this morning. They've come to Impala clearings, and it looks like they've spotted something at the bottom of the clearings, and they would like to hunt. It's very exciting. We can't see all the lionesses. There's also 2 male lions here. but they've definitely spotted something. We know there's wildebeest that love this clearing and impalas. I think these lions are going to try and hunt this morning, and being a big, powerful pride of at least 5 lionesses and a male lion that's just coming up to our left here, this could get very, very exciting. Welcome, everyone. I am Michael Anderson. Behind the camera is Gert, and we are here at Eco-Training Pridelands Conservancy, and Pridelands is living up to its name. We've got a large pride that's just busy doing a bit of hunting in this area. The male lion just to the left of us is waiting for these lionesses to come and do some hunting. Very exciting. I can't tell you how my heart is pounding just imagining what might happen. They've spread themselves out quite a lot, but look, the males, being bigger and more powerful and not as agile, are staying back watching the lionesses do their thing. Absolutely majestic. So we don't want to move around too much, because what might happen is if we move our car too much when these lions are trying to encircle their prey, we might end up causing the prey or the animals, whatever it is, to look towards us and therefore look towards the lions. So we're just going to follow them. Oh, one lioness at the far distance there has got her head right down and she's low. She's starting to trot. Some more in front of us. Oh, this is too exciting. I don't know if you'll be able to see her now, Gert. She's just gone behind these bushes. But, oh, I can't tell you. This is so exciting. We're just waiting for the burst of speed. If we see them start chasing, we will start moving to follow them. Right, the male still watches. Have any of you seen lions on a hunt like this before? It's an incredible, humbling experience to see these animals do their thing. Remember, this is life or death for both sides, for the lions and for the antelope. If the lions don't eat, they'll starve. And if the antelope are not vigilant, they will get caught by these lions. It's the constant battle, in the bush between the predator and prey. Right, we're going to watch these animals and keep following them, and we'll let you know what they do.
We certainly will. That sounds like an exciting start. That's just awesome. Here we have Ribbon, who is showing us exactly that she is the queen. She's sitting on Vuyatela Access, smack bang in the middle of the road, and any car that would want to come into Djuma would have to pass her. Isn't that nice? It's lovely to see her, so I'm pretty excited. Hi everyone, it's me, Trishal, and I've got BK on camera this very chilly morning. It's 6 degrees Celsius or 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and Ribbon is trying to get really nice and warm and tucking all her limbs underneath her and sleeping quite peacefully. And I'm hoping that she'll get a move on soon and go back to the den. And then we'll be able to see those cubs. Finally, I need to see Corky's cub. Haven't seen that little bundle of joy. This girl here looks very, very comfortable. So remember to chat to us using the hashtag WildEarth that I'm sure you all know about, and the YouTube chat stream. And we'll answer all of your questions, or at least we'll try to. She's actually not very far from where Tingana's kill was yesterday, so perhaps that smell has brought her down this end. And suspiciously, do you remember I've told you about the hyena that whoops a little bit like an ambulance does? Instead of going whoop, it goes, excuse me, it goes a bit like that. I didn't want to do it too loudly in case she thought that, I was trying to imitate her. It sounded, we heard it just before I left, and then she was sitting right here, and it sounded pretty close. So I wonder if Ribbon is in fact the ambulance hyena that we've been hearing at camp for the last 2 years. Hi, TaylorMade. You'd like to know, where are her cubs? Well, they should be in the den. They're about 4 months old. Now, the first time we saw them was the 27th of March, I believe. So they're about 4 months old, and they should still be in the den. I've been to the den every shift since I've been back, and I haven't seen any activity. But there are tracks around and little kind of depressions that they dig in the ground where she would sit, or adults would sit. And I don't think that she would move her, well, she could have moved her cubs from that den, but I don't think Corky would have moved her cub from that den because that one was really little. She could have moved them within that block, but certainly not very far. And that's why I kind of want to sit with Ribbon and see what she does, because perhaps there is another den, but I think that the one that we have been seeing them at is still the one that they're using. Still seeing tracks all around. Yesterday morning and afternoon when I went to the den, there were impala around, and then yesterday evening there were elephants around too. So perhaps they weren't at the den as much, or the adults at least weren't at the den as much as we would hope. But hopefully she'll lead us there a little later.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Safari Life. And this is Tumi from Pinda and Beyond Private Game Reserve. And as you can see, right behind the camera, we have Marcel. And we just come good luck this morning. As you can see on the screen, we have some cheetah and 2 cubs. Just for you to try. Enjoy. Look at that. Look at that. She looks like she might be had something somewhere around. And as you can see, the cubs also, the way they're walking, you can see their body language. And the mom, she must be stuck. She had something she's trying to hunt. Well, we're going to try to turn around and trying to stick with them and see what she's got on her mind there, because this is very nice and quiet this morning, and it's very good time for her to be able to hear if there's any animals around like impala or inyalas around. So we'll sit and wait and see what she's deciding to do. Yeah, actually, this is a lovely start in the morning, yeah. And also beautiful day. Okay, pretty face. Look at how when she look at us. Yeah, she's not too sure. As you can see, she need to make sure also when she starts going, she doesn't put her cubs in danger as well. That's why she has to be very careful and listen. Yeah, as you can see, she's looking around. We'll just sit around here and see what she does.
So these lions just missed the hunt. They chased a small herd of wildebeest, and I think these lions maybe are a little bit younger than the others, so they were a little bit maybe overzealous. But you can see they've been in a few battles, lots of scars and scratches all over, and they're heading up a bit further north to maybe join up with the others, which are at the top end of this clearing. But absolutely incredible to watch the burst of speed. As we came over the top of the rise, we just saw them speeding off down after these wildebeest. There's one in front of us here, Gert, as well. Absolutely wonderful. So great to see a pride like this, the teamwork. They're going to try again, I'm sure. They look like they could eat. They're not in bad condition, but definitely haven't eaten for a couple of days. Amazing. You can just see a little bit of spots in the belly. I'm going to try and reposition us, Gert, just to see if we can get another view of them. Oh, there's one in front of us there, Gert. Just crossing here. So that's at least 4 lionesses, 5 lionesses here. Amazing. Hunting through this clearing. Now they're just stalking through the clearing, using their hearing, stopping and listening every now and again to make sure that there's more animals around for them to hunt. What a powerful animal. Just look at those shoulders. Look at those huge paws. You can imagine if they tackled something, how they'd wrestle it to the ground. Perfectly camouflaged. That soft golden light behind them. This is literally the epitome of feline power. All right, I'm going to try and move us. It's going to be a bit tricky. Right, whilst we reposition, we're going to stay with these lions and see how long we can follow them before they head out of Pride Lands, unfortunately.
Good morning, and welcome everybody to Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands, where a very fresh morning is being heralded by a beautiful morning sunrise. Hello everybody, my name is Steve. I'm joined by Niels on camera, and as always, we're very excited to have you with us. So we're going to spend a few moments here with the sunrise, and we're going to allow you in some silence to just soak it all in. A new morning, a new day. Hope you've all had a wonderful evening or day or whatever it is, wherever you are. We're going to pop over to Simbambili, just have a little look, see if there's anything going on there, check the watering holes, maybe do a little bit of birding as well, and just soak in this glorious day. So we're going to move on shortly and try and stay warm.
So the rest of the pride has crossed out of Pride Lands, unfortunately, on a northern boundary, and these two males look like they're going to do much the same, but they're scent marking as they go through. Look how powerful they are, that big mane making them look massive. So these are the Masangulo males that we see following this pride of 6 lionesses. And they often follow the buffalo herds as they move in and out of the conservancies in this area, but they are just absolutely in their prime, probably more than 6 years old, well, between 5 and 6 or somewhere around there. I think these lions are quite old. So definitely on the later stage of their years, but still an absolutely overwhelming force in this area. Brandy, lions need to eat as often as possible. They are animals who, will gorge themselves whenever they can. They're opportunists. So as soon as they can, they will hunt and catch something. And then maybe if they eat something and they're full, they won't need to eat for 4 days, maybe 5 days. But as soon as they can after that, they'll want to eat again. I'd say a lion could probably do a couple of weeks without eating, but they would be in terrible condition if they did so. So, like anyone, as often as possible. But maybe if they fill themselves up for 4 days, maybe before they would really be desperate to eat again. Look at those powerful thigh muscles that gives these lions the amazing acceleration when they need to catch up with the prey. Unfortunately, it didn't work this morning, and they are crossing our boundary right now. Where that lion is just walking now, that's basically our boundary. So we won't be able to follow them anymore, but we'll try and see if we can maybe get one more glimpse of them as they disappear into the bush. Absolutely incredible, powerful. As you can see there where that car just passed there, that was the boundary. So you can see these lions are very, very close now. Amazing. Well camouflaged. I hope they're going to catch something, Brandy, because they are looking like they could eat. They're looking quite slender. Right, I'm going to try and reposition us one more time to see if we can get a view. So let's see what we can do. One last view of these amazing lions.
And we are getting one last view of Ribbon. Let me go forward a little bit, and there's a small gap there. Now this part would take her to Gallego Pan, so hopefully that's where she's going. There we see her. No, Ribbon. Off she goes. Alright, let's try and swing round and see if we can get her at the pan, because I'd really like to be able to follow her. Hyenas don't like to be followed, so we've got to keep our distance and hopefully just watch her until she can take us to the den or wherever it is that she's going.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still here with the cheetah. As you can see, she's trying to hunt every now and again, and she left the cubs right back in a bush there. But she at the moment, she looks like she's waiting for them. They're coming slowly towards her. As you can see, where she's looking, directly where the cubs are going to be coming from. And it's good the area where she is now, because we know further back there will be a bit more open gap where she can able to scan if there's any impala hanging around. This is normally, we have a lot of impala and a lot of inyala in this area. So we're hoping to see something happening this morning. So we'll just hang around here with her and see what she does. Safari lava, you find very difficult with the cheetah, but it depending in the area. There are some different spot patterns, especially on the face, or you can use your own spot painting on a cheetah, not like a leopard normally does. But yeah, yes, it does. It does happen, but very difficult with the cheetah. Safari lava. Oh, look at that! Cool playing. The mom, she's actually leading them away from this area. We're going to try to... okay. All right. Okay. Guys, we're going to keep on following her and see what she does right ahead. As you can see, we still got her up there. Thank you, Rebecca. Well, guys, we're just trying to wrap up. Just a little bit missed in the morning. We're trying to stick with her. As you can see here, it's getting a bit bushes, but I know up ahead is going to be a bit more open again. Just stay with us and see what she might hit. Whoa. We just lost her for now, but I'm pretty sure she's very close by. She's not very far from here. Wow. It's like they move quite fast. Probably, yeah. Might be up ahead. Just we'll keep our eyes checking. As you can see, there's a little bit bushes here, but we're trying to stick with her and see if we can find it quickly before she go for something. Just mind your side, Emma. Careful back there. Let me go back to the road and see. Maybe she's going back on the road again. We'll check here quickly. Looks like they might be already up ahead. There we are. Yeah, they cover a long distance. They're very short down. As you can see, they're up. She's still scanning up there because it's coming with more open up and ahead. So we'll see. Maybe she spotted something. Off it goes. Oh, not really. Oh, there's an impala, but they're already in an open area here. They already seen her. But she might keep on trying again. Yeah, it's too open here. That's why she couldn't use any cover. As you can see, she's coming back again, trying to use that cover. Wow, there you go. We're going to turn around and see if we can. We'll try and turn around and stay with her. But I think the impala already seen her. We'll stay with her, see what she does.
Talking about a better view, like how beautiful is this view of the sun rising? And just in front of it is that beautiful marula tree. And you can see the time of the year where the trees will start losing all their leaves, or some of the trees. This marula tree in general, they'll start losing their leaves around about this time of the year. But a very warm welcome from a very cold and beyond Ngala. So I'm Nikki, going to be your ranger for this morning, and then with me is Owen. Now, this morning we decided we're going to look for leopard and possibly lion, but of course whatever we find along the way is of course a bonus. And we managed to find a leopard. Unfortunately, it moved off into quite a dense area, so we couldn't follow it. So this morning we're going to try and see, like yesterday, Barney was very lucky to find a leopard up with a kill up in the tree. We don't know if there's anything left, and there was quite a bit of interaction with hyenas, but we're going to go straight there this morning and see if there's anything. Of course, I would also love if there's some of the smaller things that we can focus on the drive, really give it a go and see what we can get, and possibly learn from whatever we might find. So let's just give it another second or two with this beautiful sunrise, and I think let's then head on our journey. It's so beautiful. I just sat down. You can hear some of the birds, but you can't, like, they're just all far off in the distance. We might not be able to hear them. I just want to hear. Almost sounds like the distant call of a lion. So often lions, whenever they call from a distance, the only thing you might hear is like and I thought I heard that off to our left somewhere. So we'll give it a bit of time, and hopefully it won't be me making that noise, and we'll be able to hear the lions. I can't hear anything here, but I think let's maybe go have a look at some of the roads and maybe see if there's a chance of spotting some of these animals. So, as I said, it is a very cold morning. You might even notice my ears are very red. I thought I might have lost them on the way. Sassy B, I agree with you. It is one of the most, like every sunrise in Africa, beautiful, always beautiful. And the bird calls, oh, it's definitely one of my favorite things to do. It's like, I think my favorite times of the day, whenever I'm doing a game drive, is early morning and later afternoon. It's like early morning, it starts quiet, and then it's one bird after another, and towards the afternoon they slowly start quieting down. And then of course the evening, it's almost like the birds, as soon as it starts getting cooler, is when they start moving back to the nest to start settling in for the evening.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we just look at that cheetah right here, and she's start moving through. She's trying to move across the drainage line here, but looks like she's trying to loop around again. That's where the impala went into across the drainage line. So what we'll do was stick with her, because she looks like she's been very clever, because she also needs to be very careful with this drainage line like this, because it could be a leopard in there or hyena or lion. So she doesn't want really to take her cubs into the kind of situation like that. So as you can see, she's getting mobile to the open area, trying to find something there for. As you can see, she's very busy trying to get a breakfast for these youngsters. How lovely is that? Look how the cubs are playing with the old orangutan. Wow, she's up on the mission. Look at where she moved. And the cubs are pretty much relaxed, because they could see her body language, and they know she's on hunt. There's this cheetah with two cubs, likely bigger cubs. I know if you're asking, I'm not sure if you're asking for the smaller cubs or bigger cubs. These are the cheetah with the bigger cubs. Look at this one lying down nicely there. Nadi, yeah, this cheetah, yeah, we've been following them since they were born. The mother also, she was born here, and yeah, she was also born. She was born here in Phinda, as you can see. We try our best to follow all of our cheetah here at Phinda, Nadine.
Hello everybody, we've got another honey badger. I can't believe it. 2 days in a row. Let's see if this fella is going to calm down. He was running now. Where are you? We got him. He's gone forward. Oh no, we're not going to get him on camera. They are very quick fellows. Very quick fellows. But sometimes they stop and look at you and go, hey, how dare you follow me? Which is not the case now. Of course, you come to us and, well, 3 honey badgers in 2 days is next level lucky. I think he might have actually just stopped at that termite mound, Niels. You know that? Did you see him run? Well, sorry about that, everybody. From very fast-moving cheetah to a very fast-moving honey badger. Sure. That was quite exciting. That was very exciting, in fact. They are formidable little guys, and they're regarded as crepuscular, which means they're active, most active at dusk and dawn. Mariska, they're always on a mission, and they're quite small. So, you know, the only time you really get to see them is if they're in the road, visible, or if the grass is quite short, because if they're running around in the long grass, you won't see them. They're just so little. So little. And this time of year, they're doing lots of digging, lots of scratching around for food. They'll dig up scorpions, and I had the most wonderful sighting a year and a half ago of one hunting a monitor lizard and catching it. And we spent 2 hours with that honey badger. So some of them are actually very relaxed. And when there's food, they really don't care. But he decided rather to just run away, which I'm very, very sorry about. But they are they are very, very cool animals. They are by far my absolute favorite.
Welcome back, everyone. We still have a cheetah with the cubs. She's still trying her best to try to find something for this baby. As you can see, oh, look at the cubs climbing up on a tree. Look here. Wow, look, amazing that. Keep coming up. Keep going. Wow. There we go. Yeah, she's just trying. As you can see, this area where she's coming now is a bit more open, and look how perfect the sunlight shining on her. Look at that. Yeah, that area she's moving now is a lovely place. It's a bit more open. It looks like there's so many tree cover. Is she moving across there? If she uses the termite mound, it will be very perfect because she'll be able to scan from a distance if she has any impala around. Normally they hang around these open areas, and she will be able to use these bushes as a cover, because that's what it normally does. While the cubs also coming up as well. Okay, so we're going to try to move slowly forward and see if we can get a better view. And as you can see, she's busy scanning up there. All right, let's see. This is a beautiful open area. As you Brandy, normally if you're asking how old when they leave the mom, and they were 18 to 19 months, they'll leave the mom. Actually, mom should leave them, and they'll be old enough to look after themselves. Brandy, look how cool under this tree. The mom, she's busy scanning. As you can see, they're using this termite mound, and it is a very good cover, which is perfect spot where she chosen to be up there. Let me scan there as well, see if I can see anything to be a witness, to see if there's anything around. The position where we are, I think it's going to be a little bit tough for us to see if it's anything around it, because a lot of bushes around in this area. But normally you find like even the zebras, wallabies, but that is not very good, because if it's zebras or wallabies seen here, they will all making an alarm call to warn everyone. Then there's no chance for her to catch anything. She have to try again, to try a different spot. There you go, she's going down. Wow, I'm not sure if she did spot anything. It looks like she's coming back again. Wow, she just disappearing. Everyone just disappear around there. Oh, you can see her face. If you look next to the big tree trunk, on the left of it, it's just hide again. You can only see a tail. Wow. And I'm not sure from there where she's going to be heading off to. Or she's going to head. Oh yeah, there we go. She's on the right hand side now, far right. One of the cub as well. She looks like, oh, it's a big male Inyala. I think they're one of the cubs she spotted. That big Inyala bull, but too big for her. And also, she's more careful because that can be easy get hurt if she try. All right. She's just moving slowly there. I'm not sure the cubs, they want to try the Nyala. The Nyala is already gone. Yeah. Okay. We're trying to follow her. As you can see, nice and open here. Beautiful sunlight. Yeah, earlier on she was chasing the impala. This actually makes a lot of noise. Maybe they warned everyone around this area and then everyone moved out of this place. So, but as you know, the cheetah can try many times, especially when it's cooler like this. You'll keep on trying and rest a bit and trying again until it's get warm enough, and she'll rest for the whole day. Look how cool that spot. We'll just sit and watch what she's thinking to do. And the cubs will keep on playing, full of energy in the morning, like every child. Look the way she's sniffing on the top of the termite. She might have picked up scent of other cheetah being there. Look, the cubs also trying. Oh no, it's not really sniffing there. Yeah, there's a beautiful position there, up on the termite mound. Beautiful sun shine on them. I like the way she's listening making sure wherever she decided to go is safe. It's a lovely animal. It's a lovely morning here. You can listen some bird calls. I think when she was coming up here, she has quite a big expectation of some prey up here, but she got very surprised. It's very quiet here. Yeah, Glennis, yeah, this is a lovely sighting for sure.
Good morning, everyone. It is a great day out here. As always, it is fantastic seeing you all. And it's just wonderful that you're able to join us on these live safaris. So thank you for that. Jean-Andre on camera, and I'm Dylan. And we have Exhibit A is a group of giraffe. What a morning, eh? What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. So we are still, we just bumped this little herd or journey of giraffe, as some people say, on the way up to the meerkats, but we are actually doing wildcat patrol this morning. We know there's this wildcat that's been seen a couple of times over the past couple of days in this area, so we're just going to go very, very slowly. Veronique is already out. She's heading up towards where the meerkats are, so there's absolutely no rush to get up there. We'd rather just spend a bit of time down here, just coursing up and down very, very slowly, hoping to find African wildcat. The temperature today is vastly different from yesterday. It is so much nicer. Yesterday we went down to -6. This morning was -2 where we stay. So it's a lot warmer, and now it's about 6 degrees or something like that. So it's actually it's a beautiful morning. Hey, giraffe. Yes, they are beautiful creatures, eh? They're actually walking straight towards the meerkat burrows, where the Makala group stays and where the wildcat's been seen a couple of times. So it's, and literally that's probably 60, 70 yards from where these giraffe are now. We've actually had them walking over the top of meerkat burrows before, and that's obviously not good for meerkats if they're downstairs at the time. But I don't think that happens too frequently. We had it once years ago. I'm going back like 12 years ago. We had a very sad case where a herd of probably 200 or 300 eland completely trampled a meerkat colony, like a burrow system at night. And I mean, we couldn't even find a trace of that group afterwards. So these things do happen. I love these early mornings where these colors just start changing. They're so subtle. All these pastel shades on the horizon, you know, that pink fading into the blue, fading into the grey, almost cream above it. This half light is gorgeous. These giraffe are just so curious. They're watching us. They got no qualms about coming closer towards us. And that's a real privilege if you think about it, you know, being able to be in these environments. And I'm not specifically talking about Swalia. It could be any wilderness area on the planet. Just the privilege of being able to be in an animal space, in the environment, and they're not seeing you as any kind of threat is just a privilege that should never, never, ever, ever be taken for granted. Slow-Mo has asked, do giraffe ever join other herds? You'll often get them associating with other animals, but I think it's more incidental rather than a deliberate or a conscious decision. You know, so if they're down at a waterhole, we've seen this at the dam that Jandra and I often sit at. You know, they'll come drink water, and then they often get oryx and springbuck and kudu and things like that down at the water as well. But, you know, when you that kind of size, for the majority of predators, you're kind of out of reach, so to speak. Excuse the pun. Things like lions obviously do take them, but it's very seldom in our area, put it that way. And so I don't think there's a huge amount of need. And also in terms of what they're feeding on, they're really feeding beyond the reach of a lot of other, or most other species, except for things like elephants, which we don't have here. And if you look at other animal associations, the well-known one is things like giraffe and what's that stripy animal? A zebra and a wildebeest. You know, things like that. You know, there's a distinct reason for them associating in terms of feeding and that kind of stuff. In areas where there's high predator densities, you can get associations for predator avoidance in different groups of mixed species. But you know, giraffe or not, yes, this is great, and he's just so relaxed. Yeah, yes, you are beautiful. You know that. Wow. Sorry, Lisa, what was the question? Ooh, Lisa has asked how many heartbeats per minute. Lisa, I will have to check that one up for you. I'll have to check that answer up, and I will actually get an answer for you probably in the next 20 minutes or so. But I don't think it's going to be a super fast heart rate. I think it's going to be slightly slower. Good question. Yeah, animal physiology is cool.
After the giraffe that Dylan found at Tswalu Kalahari, we also managed to find another giraffe here. It looks like it might be a young male just based on the horns. You can see how bold the horns are already. Because often with the males, remember that you fight with one another, so they start wearing down those horns. So Melissa, I think giraffes, like, in general, have a very interesting herd structure. Like it's often referred to as a temporary association because they don't really form. So let's say if we look at a pride of lions, it might be one male, a couple of females, or two males, or three males and a couple of females, but the females won't make the majority of it. However, with males, it's like they form, and with the females, is they form these loose bonds. So then there'll be, an example, 10 females and 4 males, and then tomorrow there will be 15 females and 2 males, and the week after that it could be, so they constantly join up together and then break away, join up together and break away. There's no solid structure. But often, like the older giraffes, the males are the more dominant ones, are the ones that tend to group closer to the herds. As soon as there's a female that is, of course, ready to mate, then they'll move in to mate. but it's not always, they don't always stick together necessarily in one herd, like one male and 6 females. So they don't have that solid social structure. It's more of a loose association that they have. Look at how this giraffe has actually pushed its head all the way into that tree to try and get to some of the leaves. It's so interesting. Often with, it doesn't look like it is a tree with a lot of thorns on it, but often even with the thorny trees, it's amazing how they can maneuver themselves in that without getting like pricked or hooked by any of the thorns. Butterlight, it all depends. It could be anywhere from 3-4 individuals all the way up to, I think the biggest herd that I've seen was, or journey. So often a group of giraffe, if they start moving, it's called a journey, or if they stand still, it's a tower of giraffe. So the biggest that I've seen is close to 30, maybe 35, like roughly roundabout. But it could be anywhere in between. And I also think it depends on the availability of food and, of course, just the area that they occur in. But normally it could be anywhere from around about 3 up to 35. Could be more, but I haven't really heard about it a lot more, especially in the area here. But I know the most that I have seen is close to 30. Like, just look at how beautiful this area is. So we have the giraffe that's right there, and just off to the right from where these giraffes are, there's a little tree here with some doves. They're actually trying to sun themselves. You'll see there's a dead branch, and just off to the right, a couple of doves just sitting in that early morning sun. Now, just having a look at them, I noticed quite a bit of like brown on the head, a bit of grey on the side of the shoulder, and a bit of white on the chest. So these ones are called laughing doves, because the call often is like so it almost sounds like the dove's actually laughing, hence the name. Pretty special to see. Like, this whole scene is just with the giraffe, a few birds. You can actually feel the light as well. It's slowly starting to warm up. Baby Kova, with giraffes, they can only have one baby at a time, and normally the gestation period for a giraffe is around about 15 months in between. So when they have a baby, it takes up to 15 months before they give birth. But the intervals, I'm not 100% sure, like in terms of the exact number or years as an interval. I do know that it's around about the 2.5-3 year mark. But I'll try and see if I can read up a little bit more about it, because I mean, it also depends on that particular giraffe. If, for example, it's an area where there's quite a few predators, it might be that if anything happens to the youngster, that the mom would fall pregnant a lot sooner. But if the youngster managed to survive, probably after 2.5, maybe 3 years, the mom will be ready to mate again, and then 15 months later we'll have another baby giraffe. But it's quite an interesting question. I'd like to read up a little bit more about it, and hopefully if we see another one by this afternoon, I'll be able to share some interesting facts about it. But as I said, I'm not entirely sure on the exact number of years or months, but I'll definitely try and find out for us. You can actually hear where this giraffe is, just in the back. You might see there's a massive tree. It sounds like there's some elephants breaking branches, and you can hear these low stomach rumblings just in the back there. So I'm sure there'll be even elephants near the river. And I think what they might be doing is early on in the morning, they might be heading down to the river. Maybe there's some quite a few lush trees to feed on, and as it warms up, maybe go towards some water. And I think that's what this giraffe is also going to do. So early part of the morning is breakfast time, and as soon as it starts warming up, it will eventually head down to water for a drink. Now, the other day we were talking about the pattern of a giraffe, and you'll notice every single giraffe that we always look at has a different pattern on the skin. Now, if you look at this one, have you noticed that the patterns around the neck are quite far spread apart? And as it comes down towards the back and towards the legs, it almost starts disappearing as spots. Now, if you look at the shape of the tree, you'll almost notice that the bark, of course, the branches closer to the bark will be very finely spaced. And as you move up, of course, the branches are a little bit wider apart, almost like the same as that pattern on a giraffe.
Wow, we just got a beautiful sighting of ostriches, and nice and close to us. They're about 60 meters away. It's two males, the black ones with the white on the wings, and the female, the one in the middle now. Fantastic. It's actually seldom that we see them down in this particular area over here. Normally they're a little bit further out into the dune fields, so this is a real treat for us. We're just going to let them come out into the open here. They're going to move across to the right now. There we go, look at that, What a prehistoric looking bird, huh?
Elephant. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about any technical issues you might have there. We have found a male elephant on Simbambili, and it might be tricky for some people to identify male from female some of the time, but sometimes it's very easy, especially when he's got 5 legs. Now, this gentleman is busy grazing out in the open areas of Simbambili. Lots of forbs that are still around, and he's actually physically pulling them up entirely and feeding on the roots. There's lots and lots of plants that grow out of these open areas that have got huge amounts of medicinal value. And because they're adapted to fire, they take their nutrients into the roots, which is how the elephants access the nutrients. Many of the animals are unable to access the nutrients from the roots. Steenbok are able to dig up bulbs and possibly roots. Warthogs are able to ferret roots out with their noses. But most of the other animals have to eat what is above the ground. Obviously, when you're an elephant, you can eat whatever you want to. Now it's feeding on the Watharia indica, the snakebite bush. Hello, Jerry. You want to know why the backbone is so pronounced? Well, essentially from the tail all the way over the back there and up to the shoulder blades is the spine. So it's just the way that the weight of the elephant sort of sits, I suppose. And the skin stretches a bit over the hips. There on the far left is actually the shoulder blades. So that is the neck just above the shoulder blades. And then that is the spine curving up onto the back and the hips. And there the hips are there, either side of that bump, going down onto the tail. So why? I don't know. I suppose it's just the shape and design of these animals. What's you've got your nose in a twirl, sir. As they get older and older, they get more and more stretched, and the bones are enormous. The spinal column of an elephant is very, very thick, very heavy, and it is supporting a huge amount of weight, so it needs to be quite well structured. And obviously there's a very important engineering side to it. I couldn't tell you exactly, but from the shoulder blades to the hips, there needs to be some form of symmetry with regards to... I'm going to just turn back quickly, Neil, so if you don't mind. This termite mound behind us, we're about to have a wonderful little hyena pop. Stop there. Who are you? Probably from the Elephant Plains clan. If anybody can identify this fellow, please do let us know. It's been a morning of hyenas. The tracks are everywhere. I'm going to follow this fellow because maybe he thought we had a leopard. Yeah, he's like, we like to follow the hyenas, don't we? I think hyenas have also learned to follow our vehicles. He's come to check out what's going on, or maybe he smelt my fresh pot of coffee. Oh, you're not shy, are you? Not at all. So he's going behind the car. We have no control over that, everybody. This is a live broadcast, and live hyena walking. Hello. There it goes into the beautiful light. I might follow, actually, because there were quite a few hyena tracks on our way here. It's possible he's on the move. Either he's going to go drink, there's a pan just at the top of the hill there, or he's got the scent of something. Got the sense of something feline. I wonder if hyenas would like coffee. Actually, there's always a healthy sort of respect. Hyenas will never get too close to elephants, but they're quick enough to get away from them if an elephant does get a bit antsy. So they'll just, like he did with us, he gave us a bit of a wide berth. They'll go as close as they feel comfortable going. There we go. You see the nose is on the ground? That is a good sign. That is how hyenas follow leopards sometimes, not necessarily the kill that they might have. If it was a kill, they'd have their nose in the air, smelling the wafting meat. There their nose is the ground like a bloodhound, tracking something that's walked there. It might not necessarily be a leopard, might be another hyena or a lion, but it's definitely something that's gotten the hyena's nose. So let's follow. If you're all keen with that, we can always come back to our wonderful elephant in the open area here. And please, if anyone in for me, I'd be most excited about that. We were just having a cheeky little coffee while we were.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still here with that cheetah, still sitting down up on the small termite mound, where you can see the cubs like start getting active for playing. As you know, it's like still in the morning, full of energy. That's how they start to teach themselves how to catch things like prey. Otherwise, if they never have that kind of activity, they're never able to hunt. It's a lot of technique what they get from when they're playing like this, then chasing each other, catching each other like that. And the mom's just lying there, watching them. She hasn't really decided to what direction where she's gonna go to find something, because it looks like the place is a bit more wide open. And she scanned, she didn't see anything. She decided to lie down for now. As you can see, she's grooming herself, just to clear mind. And the cubs is just a way of playing a little bit. Plan that a father of this cheetah, they are still around this area. They're still dominant into the southern part of the reserve. They are two brothers, difficult to tell which is exactly the father, but they are still around in the area. Plan. Well, looks like she's listening now. She might have heard something. Oh, look how cool the face and the shape. If you look at it, the front legs, you can see she's very slim. Definitely she need to catch something. And also, if you look at that, where there looks like more greyhound, which is you can see they're bold for speed. And oh, look at that! It must be wow. This looks like she's marking up on the termite. That's what the normally cheetah does. If you remember earlier on, when she comes up there, she sniffs exactly where she's sitting down now, and might be pick up a scent of other cheetah being in this area. She now is leaving a mark as well. Just letting everyone, when they come around, it's like leaving a message there. Off she goes now. Let's see what she's deciding to do now. She might be coming to the right decision now, because she's been resting for a while now. Yeah, quite nice to see them running like that. We're gonna try to come around, catch up with them. Yeah, they're slowly moving up into the open area. We'll stay with them.
So we've still just been tagging along with these ostriches. They're very, very, very relaxed, but they're just feeding slowly up and down. I know Jondra's also desperate to get some backlit shots of ostriches with the sunrise, so I'm also hoping for his sake that we get it. Sorry, in terms of the question now, a friend of mine just fed me some wonderful information through on giraffe. And it's always good just to get reminded of these things. So the heartbeat for a giraffe, average, a mean that was taken on nine individuals, was 85 beats per minute. And if they're running, that apparently they can go up to 150 beats per minute, which is pretty fast. And it's circulating up to 60 liters of blood per minute as well, which is pretty impressive. We're just going to go back.
Welcome back. Well, everybody, there's a side-striped jackal over there. Our hyena's taken us directly to a pair of side-striped jackals. I know Rebecca, who's directing, loves jackal. So I'm not sure what it is that they've got. We're looking at the hyena now. The hyena's just walked past, but might get another view of it. There's a second one up ahead. They're very fluffy. Rebecca says it's the healthiest jackal she's ever seen. There's a pair of them here. There's the hyena just walking past the termite mound, and the other jackal is a little bit further up. We actually investigated this area a little while ago because the impalas were looking a bit antsy. And the hyenas come straight to this area. There's 2 jackal here. And the hyenas sniffed around and now continued walking. So let's keep going. Maybe we'll get another view of the jackal on the right. There's one also on the left. They are looking in fine. There's the other one there. Maybe we'll get it out in the open. It's really nice to see jackal. And it's really wonderful because this area we get 2 species. The side stripe, it's running. I'll get you. Yeah, let's get this one here. I can still see the hyena for now. You get him there, Niels. Looks like a little wolf. So cool. The difference between the side stripe and the black back, these guys are much more fluffy, especially in the tail, and they don't have that dark back. They're very similar in every other regard, though. How awesome is that? Look at the eyes even. Wow, that is very cool to see. 2 of our little meso predators, the jackal, a monogamous pair, or pair for life. And they're also very commonly found following leopards around, trying to access the food left by lions or leopard. The problem is with jackal is that they're often eaten by leopard, so they often need to be very cautious of getting too close to a cat. How wonderful. This is going to be my best side stripe jackal sighting. Normally these things are on the move, highly mobile, as you saw with our blackback jackal yesterday morning, I think it was. Dizzy, how fluffy is that? Very fox-like, isn't it? You can see where they are related. Very much like a fox. Oh, there we go. That must be the boy. Definitely a dog. Do you see that? Definitely a dog. There we go. Trotting. So I can still see the other one. It's on our left, and the hyena is just disappearing in front of us. So let's move up a bit, see if we can get another view. It's possible that both animals will lead us to whatever's going on. Following up on other predators is very important. Hello, glowworm. Well, jackals fall into the dog family, like wolves and like wild dogs, of course, and many other types of canids on the continent. And all dogs, domestic dogs these days, descend from wolves. Although you might not think it when you look at them. They've been bred specific ways to highlight certain characteristics. But yes, they are all similarly related. They're all in the dog family, part of the canine family. But jackals are monogamous, defending a territory. It's almost got like a dark sheen to it, doesn't it? With almost a white back. You can see now quite clearly why they're called the side stripe jackal. And without moving off of this one, the other one is to our left, looking in the same direction that the hyena went to. I've lost sight, unfortunately, of the hyena, but these jackal are both creeping up to the same sort of area. And it's very possible that we might have another predator. We did have guinea fowl alarm calling earlier down by this drainage line that we were following up on, but we were unsuccessful. Very, very useful noses. Their ears and noses, obviously, prime hunting strategy for ferreting out food. just hiding behind there. I'm almost certain we're going to find something interesting here in a moment. Polar bear, there's definitely competition at a carcass with jackal and hyena, but the jackal keep away and pick up any scraps that are left behind. The jackal are nowhere near big enough and strong enough. No, they don't get heavier than 8-9 kilograms, so 16 kilograms, whereby your average small hyena is above 40 kilograms, 30, 40, 50 kilograms. Big hyenas getting up to 90. So from a weight point of view, there's just no chance. But they're very quick, they're very agile, and they're able to get in and snatch any bits and pieces that that fall on the floor. Even sometimes you see them competing with vultures at carcasses, and sometimes they even grab the vultures. So it is always a very interesting thing to see. You'll see jackals at a kill will be sort of looping in big circles around, always keeping that distance, whatever they feel is the safe distance away from the predator. Because like I said, other predators do like to catch them. I've never seen serious interaction between hyena and jackal. The hyenas are so sort of dominant that the jackals sort of just hang around. And well, we're going to move forward and see if we can pick up exactly what's going on.
So I heard Steve was mentioning about how dominant hyenas can be. And this, what you're seeing right here, is an impala male up in the tree. And there's just such an interesting story, what happened here yesterday. And unfortunately, because of the load shedding we experienced in the afternoon, Barney wasn't unfortunately able to come past here and show everyone exactly what happened. But just to get, or he actually came past here, but unfortunately he couldn't broadcast because of the, there wasn't any electricity in the area. But just to give you an idea what happened here. So yesterday morning there was a young female leopard with her two youngsters, the Shitalala female and her young sister, or the young daughter and the brother. And she made a kill on this impala and left it on the ground. It was too big for her to hoist it up into a tree. And I think because of the horns, she really struggled to try and get it up. So she went to fetch them. And on their way here, of course, the little ones' excitement, they started feeding, and the hyena came onto the scene, actually chased both of them off the carcass and stole the carcass. And we thought, oh, maybe that was the end of it. But then later on, the mother came back and stole the carcass from the base of the tree, stole it back. And then, tried to drag it up in the tree, but eventually, couldn't, and the hyena stole that again. And then in the afternoon, the Makoti male came through, stole the carcass off the hyena, and dragged it all the way up into the tree, where we see it now. So we don't know if there's maybe other leopards around at the moment, like Barney and some of the trackers are tracking hard to see if they can find them. But I'm sure maybe later on that Makoti male, or maybe one of the other leopards could possibly come back, because you can still see there is a little bit of meat left on this impala carcass. But it's just so interesting. I just wanted to share that little story with everyone. It's amazing how much actually happened. All you see is just the kill up in the tree, but there was just so many different interactions between leopards, of course, and of course between the leopards and the hyenas. Tame tortoise, I'm sure there will be some flies that will still head to the carcass. I mean, there are still quite a lot of flies around as well, but it's not going to be as abundant as in comparison to the summertime. I think also because it's wintertime, it's been so cold in the evening, I think the meat will also stay fresher for a lot longer. But I don't think it will be too long, just based on the area and along the river where we are now, that before any of the other possibly raptors like tawny eagles, maybe even some vultures would see that and eventually come through and probably try and have a feast. Now, if the leopard is around, of course, it does not want any of those birds to be around at all. So it would eventually go up and start chasing them. So I think what we might even do from here is we might carry on with our drive, and hopefully later on we can come back and there will be something around here. Now, there is a beautiful bird that actually perched just off to the right where there's impala carcasses. It would be nice to show because the morning light on the colors are really beautiful. So see off here to the right, and if you move right, there's a tree just maybe 20 meters from that impala carcass, and it's sitting at the top right. So go a little bit more right from that, a little bit more, and I think it's right about that one. If you go to the top, there we go. So it's a lilac-breasted roller, and just look at the colors. You can clearly see the bit of white around the eye, bit of green on the head, that purple collar, blue belly, and that bit of brown on the side of the wing there. Also just enjoying that early morning sun, but also a nice vantage point looking into the river and the tall grass surrounding the river's edge. So as soon as there's any movement, or maybe any insect, can go down, catch it, and you go back up again. Carla, I think with this bird, it's a really cold morning, and what it's actually doing is just puffing itself up to trap a little bit of the heat between the feathers, just to warm itself up. But it is a cold morning, that's why it's puffed up like that. There we go. Alright, I think that bird just moved off. I think for us, with that impala carcass being up in the tree, there's not much that we can see here. So I think what we'll do from here is let's carry on with our search. Hopefully there'll be some news about those leopards, and we can definitely see if we can find them this morning. Give it a good go.
So the sun is just coming over cresting the top of the hills now, and we going very, 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 very slowly along here, just checking all the different burrows that we know of for wildcats. Now that the sun's out, this is going to be a really good time, because those wildcats, as we know, the meerkats start popping out, and squirrels and things like that, so will the wildcats. And so I'm really hoping that we're going to get a sighting for you, and whether it's today or another day, but regardless, we're going to keep trying. We're not going to stop until we get one. But we're slowly making our way up to the rock stars as well. The rock star meerkats. And this is just what it takes. So just going along slowly. Obviously we are checking for tracks as well. Although to track an African wildcat, I think you've got to be in a like next level tracker category. You're like master tracker and then next level. But we've got trackers here that can do that. So we've got trackers on Swallow that they'll follow a wildcat track. That's when you know you've reached a different sphere of tracking ability. But Jandra and I had a lot of fun yesterday when we were following those lines. We tracked them for a long way. It was probably 4 kilometers. We followed those cats before we found them yesterday afternoon, those of you who were with us, so that was quite fun. So I think over the coming days we'll pop back and see if we can actually find or see the little cubs with you, which will be really cool. Yes, I'm loving this temperature this morning compared to yesterday. Oh my goodness. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm not wearing long pants again. I'm done with long pants. Only if I have to, unless it's something critically important. But I'm finished with long pants. Long pants are a thing of the past. Down with long pants. Figuratively, I mean, that's not what not what I meant. Yes. Yeah. So. But yeah, we creating a traffic jam here. Oh, Laura Moore has asked, does this vehicle have a name like the other ones do? She doesn't, and I don't know why we always refer to these vehicles in the female sense. It's just like it's like a ship or I don't know. It's really sexist. Actually, we shouldn't. No, this Land Rover doesn't have a name, but I do talk to her. I genuinely do. Like this morning, I got in, like started up, and like I patted her on the dashboard. I was like, "Come on, my girl. Come on. You're gonna be okay." So I do talk to my vehicle, and I don't know why I do that either, but it seems to help in some weird kind of way. But she's been really good to us. So, we had a clutch problem the other day. It was a leak. We had, what else? Oh, a fuel problem. But these things, it's a Land Rover, and you wouldn't have a Land Rover if it wasn't going to give you problems. But they are fun anyway, at least. So we're creating traffic jams this morning. These are some of our staff coming into work. This is our HR lady. So she keeps me in check, I think, sometimes, or tries to. Yeah, Exhibit A. Morning, Sylvia! Anyway, we're going to carry on, see if we can find this wildcat, and just enjoy this gorgeous morning out here.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, right in front of us again, beautiful 3 cheetahs lying down there. He hasn't missed that so much. She's been moving up and down, keep on lying down like that. As you can see, it's very quiet up here. Not even a wind blowing at all, which is beautiful. So I think she's coming to the stage where she's coming a bit more slowly, lazing down a bit. I'm not sure how much longer she's going to lie down there, but I'm pretty much sure she's going to keep on trying again, because you can see these calves, they really need to get some breakfast this morning. So, well, for now, they're just like dozing for a little bit. The good thing, yeah, JT, the cheetahs always have a very good time, a difficult time for when they're hunting, depending some different days. Sometimes they come a good, like early in the morning, especially when they come across in a good area. But normally it's a difficult time, JT. Yeah, look at that, looking, listening. Yeah, Melissa, I've seen that, but not all of them does that. I've seen one of the male cheetah come across with the small cubs, but the only reason why is because he was trying to mate with female. But I've seen so many times males with different cubs, which are not those, but then they don't kill normally. Sometimes they do kill males. She must pick up a noise or something there. You can see the way her body language and listening, but not too sure. If you look at the cubs, they got no idea what's going on. She's just sitting here, depending on the mom. How cool is light? And I like the way when she lifting her ears up and listening, and you can see she checking everywhere, and you know, she might be heard something. It could be some prey, could be dangerous, like other predators. So that's why you never know what's gonna happen when you watch it. Like the way she does, she turn like that. Oh, I'm not sure what she's spotting that. I don't see anything yet because it's behind the bush where she's looking. It could be a bird moving. Maybe she caught a little bit of the last of movement, because she want to make sure she doesn't want to miss out anything around here, because she's worrying at the same time about other predators. Because you have to look after these cubs as well, and there are two ways of finding them food and save them from a dangerous situation. Yeah, she's trying to make sure whatever she's watching, she doesn't miss that. And this is a lovely spot. Pronos, and just for protection, as you know, sometimes it gets very cold, but also, and I don't know if you've ever seen the cubs with what it looks like when they're small. They're more fluffy and more color different from what they looks like now. They're more black and white, black under, more white at the back. Pronos, and the reason why they look like that for protection for the other predators or a bird of prey. If when the mom leave them when she go for hunting, and as you know, like they will look more like a honey badgers. As you know, no one wanted to try and take a chance with the honey badgers. So when they find them, especially for the bird of prey, they'll think, oh, there's a lot of honey badgers around, and leave them alone. That's one of the reasons as well, but also more for protection. Like you have a lot of ticks around these bushes, Pronos. Look at the way she looked. She's still not too sure what was coming around, but you can see her ears keep on pointing different direction. That's her way, trying to pick it up if it's in. Oh, no, she's a bit more comfortable again. That's why she'd like flat again. Yeah, this is a lovely morning for sure. As you can see, sun shining, blue sky. This is going to be a stunning day. This is a lovely morning for sure, guys. We'll stay with this cheetah and see if there's any luck they come across.
We're also having a lovely morning here at Pride Lands. We've just come across a big bull Nyala, who's just walking through these grassy areas. But essentially we're just driving around here looking for some elephants that we heard cracking some branches a bit earlier. So as we keep driving, we're going to be looking out for their tracks and signs around here. just trying to see, because we think last night our camp got trashed by elephants. They were all over the camp. They pushing over trees around. I think a lot of the students didn't sleep very well. And our Gerrit was saying there was one about 3 meters from his tent for ages, feeding very noisily on the grasses and twigs and things. And so we're looking for them up here. I mean, you can see around us there's a little bit of elephant damage. They've been feeding on some of these dry bushes around here, as we've seen before. I'm going to pull up next to it and you can see it in the camera. There's not a lot of green stuff at the moment. There's just a lot of dry, crunchy branches and grasses. So, as you can see here, this looks like it was a knobthorn, or was a knobthorn at one stage, but it's been completely pushed over and stripped of its bark by elephants, probably the last couple of days. So, they're around here. They seem to like this particular hillside. It's warmer in the mornings, much warmer on these east-facing hillsides. So, that's why they're up here. It causes us concern, let's put it that way, when they leave the hillsides and come down to our dam in the middle of the night and start pushing over trees in our camp. The evidence was everywhere this morning. I mean, little landmines, shall we call them, scattered about on the pathways, and even where we sit around the fire, the elephants were obviously sniffing there for any of the food smells, you know, from all the students eating, and you know, so it was very interesting. It's nice to have them around, but always quite tricky. There's a question about if there are evergreen trees around here, and there certainly are. Actually, there's one just ahead of us, which I'm going to show you. It looks like a guarri, which is not a very palatable or tasty plant. It doesn't hold a lot of nutrients. Not many animals eat it, but it is green all throughout the year. And you'll see it just up ahead. I'm going to pull up next to it. But guarris are useful for us in these camps, because they actually are very good as fire beaters. So here's the guarri, just through these little spiny bushes in front of us. So this is a magic guarri, one of the lots of little guarri species that we have. And this one's great because the leaves are very persistent and dry and waxy. And so when there's a fire, let's say if there's a bushfire, you can use these branches to smack just smack the fire out. The leaves don't come off real easy. They're very waxy and dry. And you know, one of the traditional beliefs of this tree, or not really traditional beliefs, but one of the beliefs of this tree is that you can actually use it to find water. You might take a piece of this branch, a forked stick, and carry it around with you. And you know, some people have the talent, should we say it, maybe they call it a talent, where they can actually feel a draw, a pull on this particular branch, which indicates that there's the presence of water under the surface. So the magic guarri. It also has very tasty fruits, though, little dark black berries almost, that are quite citric in their taste, quite tart, but quite nutritious. But very rarely do we actually get to see them. They get snapped up by the birds and other mammals like monkeys pretty quickly, but I have eaten them a few times. They make your tongue turn almost a purple in color. I think you could probably make quite an effective dye out of it. So that's magic guarri. A really, really cool plant. Not eaten by much though, unless there's really nothing else to eat. So yes, there are some evergreen trees around here. There's even another one just to the right of us, which is called African wattle. It's not evergreen, but it seems to be staying green quite long today. Or not today. Today. No, this winter. And this one is a little bit more palatable. We see some animals eating it, especially giraffes. But no giraffes up here at the moment. We did see the giraffe from yesterday. A very dark male. He was walking very far from where we found him earlier on. He seems to be doing very well, though, feeding on the knobthorns, the very tall green plants. Knobthorns don't have many leaves left this year, at this time of year. What have you seen? Oh, elephants! The elephants we've been looking for. Here they are. Yeah, well spotted, guys. I don't know if it's a great view, but yes, this is probably one of the culprits from our trashed camp last night. Feeding a bit far from the road, but loving the top of this hillside, getting a bit of the warmth as it feeds on these twiglets. Of course, elephants are very powerful, so they don't really need to worry about whether they can push through this thick bushes or not. They don't have any problem. They've got tough skin. And this one is actually eating something green. Can't see past these bushes what exactly it is eating. Something delicious, or something relatively delicious compared to everything else that's around. Looks like it might be a bush willow. Some of the bush willows also have a few green leaves, but they're not evergreen. They turn a beautiful orange and red color in the autumn, and in winter they lose most of the leaves. Look at that. Actually using its tusk there to snap a few of these branches and twigs. Watch this. So it grabs it with the trunk, then puts the tusk underneath, and then lifts its head and is able to snap off the branch and eat some of those leaves. So the leaves might be still quite tasty, but the underside of the bark, what we talked about yesterday, that cambium layer, the nutrient transporting layer, is what the elephants are mostly feeding on this time of year. Watch this. You might see him using its... Oh, no. Just too powerful. Just snapped it straight off with the trunk. Actually wonder what a trunk looks like on the inside. We were talking about it because last night Gerd was listening to the elephant breathing deeply next to his tent. He said it sounds like when you blow air through one of those pool cleaner pipes, those ridged pipes. I wonder what it looks like on the inside of an elephant's trunk. Is it also ridged and bumpy, or is it a smooth tube all the way? Interesting to know. This is probably one of those young bulls that we saw the other day. They don't seem to wander too far from this area at the moment. They're like many animals. They'll stick to an area that they know as long as there's food there, but when food becomes more scarce, they'll tend to move off into a new area. So they've been up here for a week or two now, still feeding through here. It's amazing the change in the landscape. As animals feed in an area, they change it completely from when there's thick grass and thick vegetation, and then after they've been around in a couple of weeks, it'll be much more open. All right, we're going to follow in this area and see what other elephants we can find.
Wild Earth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the Wild Earth family.
Lots of animals change the ecosystem and affect it, and of course that is what needs to happen. That's how we get a system. Now I'm here at Buffelshoek Dam and been driving around, not able to find much at all. But luckily for us, there's some hippo and there's some Egyptian geese in the corner. And also, we managed to find this particular guy. How do you feel about this, everybody? Stoked, because I am. It is Tingana. Aren't we all happy? I am absolutely ecstatic. We just drove up here. And this is how it works. You get this day where it feels like you can't do much at all and you can't find any animals and all of that. And you just take a particular road and it leads you to this beautiful creature lying up on Buffelshoek Dam wall. Aren't we just lucky?
I think Nigel is having a look around that area.
Absolutely fortunate we have been these last 2 days.
Yeah, sure. So we're still driving along this ridge line here, very dry but relatively open and grassy. We've just seen a few zebras, so we want to try and see if we can get a bit closer to them. They were moving off into the very thick bush, and here, with this dry scrub around us, it's not so easy to see them if they're a little bit further from the road. It's amazing the camouflage works in winter really, really good compared to in summer when there's plenty of colours. But remember, most animals don't see in full colours like we do. So even during the summertime, they probably do blend in quite well. Those stripes for us, because we see in colour, are very obvious, but for lions and leopards and other animals that might hunt them, it's not so easy. They just see the broken outline amongst the bushes and trees. So if they stand still, they can probably escape. Did you see them there, Gert? They're very far away. Okay, now we're going to keep driving around. This road sort of loops down the side of this hillside, or this crest. We might get a good view of them eventually. So there's another tree over here, actually, which is green. It's not an evergreen tree, but it also holds its leaves most of the year. But they do fall off, so it is what you'd say deciduous, and that's a jackalberry. Just quite a strange place to see a jackalberry, to be honest. Usually they grow closer to riverbeds and drainage lines, where it's very nutrient-rich soils and very dark soils close to water. And this jackalberry is on the top of this crest, which is quite unusual. Seeing a lot of unusual trees in places where they're normally not found. And this tree is called a jackalberry because of the green fruits that you'll see on there. There's none at the moment, but they turn, and then they turn brown when they're ripe. Quite tasty, although I've never had one which was very nice. I've eaten quite a few of them. And apparently jackals also eat them a lot when they're falling down underneath the trees. Jackals are omnivores. They'll eat a bit of everything. So that's where the jackalberry gets its name, or one of the ways jackalberries get their name. But they're one of the largest trees that you can find. This is not a huge specimen, and it's been damaged by elephants quite a lot. You'll see the branches on the sides, they are quite broken. But when they grow huge, they create a vast canopy that many, many birds will use for nests and homes. And of course, many animals will use it for shade. But a very, very nice tree. This is not a huge example of them, but a nice one nonetheless to see. Alright, we're going to continue onwards, see if the road curves round, and then we'll let you know what we find.
Thanks, Mike. Well, we've stopped at a little watering hole. We had some birds in this tree a moment ago, and they've obviously flown away, some golden-breasted buntings. But just in front of us here, Niels, right at the base at 11 o'clock, there's a whole lot of waxbills in this buffalo thorn that are swooping down to drink and going back up again. Swooping down to drink and going back up again. So everybody, I just got off for a moment to go track that hyena and see where it went to, and I was following the tracks, trying to see if maybe it would lead me to a leopard. The go-away birds are going nuts. Is there a little waxbill, I think? Yes, a little waxbill. And the go-away birds are going nuts, and out popped in the road in front of me another honey badger. So my day is made. I am now done. I can set off the next chapter. That's my first ever honey badger on foot. So cool. He came out in the road in front of me, looked at me, put his tail up, gave me that typical honey badger look. I had a moment of panic because I didn't have my stick with me. Because those of you out there, I have mentioned this before, but some of you maybe have not heard it before. One of the biggest fears that many of the trackers I've worked with the honey badger is because they're terrified of honey badgers, because they know and they've seen that honey badgers are inclined from time to time to go for an animal's genitals. Buffalo, wildebeest, and they've all seen the wrath of a honey badger's very powerful jaw. And so most of the trackers I've worked with are terrified of honey badgers on foot because of the thought of them potentially going for their genitals. And that's one of the major reasons why I carry a stick when I go walking. There we go. How wonderful are these waxbills. And there's just to the right of those waxbills is the bunting. There it is, the golden-breasted. See, so everyone, these little thorny trees that occur right next to watering holes are so important for your small seed-eating birds. They will accumulate here in little flocks, and they'll fly down, rotating to the water, back to the thorny tree. We've got some more light on the left here, Niels, at 9 o'clock. Our francolins are coming down to drink. Sorry to change the subject. Francolins and a crested barbet here at 9 o'clock. It is, you sit and wait for a while and you will get the birds coming. There they are, crested franklin. Now these birds like to hang out in groups because of the predators. Oh, and there's a mouse bird up a little bit to the right of them. There's a mouse bird there. Off he goes. He's back again. Red-faced mouse bird. Oh, this is incredible. There's the red-faced coming down to drink. And a little bit more to the right, Niels. Sorry, we don't see this often on the ground, but it's a black-collared barbet. Right there. There it is. How cool is that? That is so special to see. I don't see many black-collared barbets in Djuma. We see the crested barbet far more than the black-collared. And so someone has suddenly pushed the button and said it's drink time. And all the birds have come down to drink. So cool to see. And I said they like to do it in groups because there's more chance that the sparrowhawk or goshawk will catch somebody else. Oopsie, off he goes. Now behind these franklins, there's the crested barbet. Just a bit more to the left, you'll see the barbet is on the ground there. So we've got barbets everywhere. We've got waxbills. We've got mouse birds, franklins. There's even some firefinches jumping around. We'll see if we can get you one of them. Making Niels really work now this morning. It's like a sporting event. Keep following the ball as it moves. Yes, it did. Some competition with the barbet and the franklin there. Just chased him out the way. Can you keep quiet and allow you to hear the little sounds of our birds? Annette, it is wonderful, isn't it? On a roll. I love it. Oh, absolutely. Oh, Niels, at 11 o'clock. There's a firefinch, 11 o'clock, just down at the water's edge there. Sorry, 11, just over the front here. Yeah, straight in there, water's edge, left. There we go. There's the red-billed firefinch. No, Jameson's firefinch. Jameson's firefinch has got that very red colour and the beak is black. How cool is that? And the one on the right, what is the one? I think that must be a female. Not looking very colourful today. Little seed-eating birds. Too precious. See how they drink and look around. Look, 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 look. Dangerous time of day for them. Drinking. Oops, see how quickly they take off. Oh, this is just splendid. This is one-eyed pan once again, everybody, on Simbambili, which I find a phenomenal amount of birding at. And if you do ever decide to have a watering hole near your wherever you want to do some birding, make sure there's a small little spiny tree right next to the water's edge. You'll get far more birds down to drink than you will if it's just an open area either side. Even if it's just a massive big dead tree that you dump there on the edge, you'll get far better birding. He's run away, got a bit of a fright. There we go. The barbets are not too scared. They're very, very brave. Hopping around. Crested barbet. You can probably notice how much bigger he was than the black-collared. It's quite a hop, skip and a jump he's got going there. Oh, how wonderful. See how our franklins have moved back after drinking so that they're just by the edge of this little thicket once again. So if need be, they can quickly tuck their nose inside. Open areas around watering holes are important. Many mammals won't come and drink at a watering hole that's too thickly vegetated because they can't see. They like that open space, but you also need a little bits of density on edges so that birds can do what they do, because they're very skittish birds. Sparrowhawks and predatory birds flying through here move at incredible speed, and they need to be able to just jump up quickly and disappear. Same as these francolins. Their form of defense is to quickly bolt into the thicket. But now that they've had a drink, they're going to do a bit of grooming in the sunshine, getting prepared and ready for the day, brushing their teeth and fluffing up their feathers. Just going to keep quiet now for a moment and allow you to take in some of the sounds. Oh, Zahir, this is exactly what I like to do. Sorry, Neil, so just go up very slightly from those. There's a blue waxbill in the bush just above there. Up half a foot. A little bit more. There he is. Hello. Off he went. You heard him. Sweep, sweep. Zahir, I love birding. I can bird all day. Coming to little watering holes like this, it's great because it's such a variety. Come to you. Now all I need to do is get a longer lens so that I can actually take photos of these wonderful birds, because you need to really get in there. They're so small. So we're going to stay right here at the water and see who else comes down to drink.
Obviously, Tingana has broken my feet. But we're back, and he is back in all his glory. It's so wonderful to see him. Looks like he's soaking up a lot of sun, and that patch looks so good and warm. He's been looking over into that ridge just on the western side of the dam. Nothing of interest just yet, but he got some great cover if he wanted to hunt. Now remember, he had the steenbok yesterday, and we said that would really just suffice him for about 2 days or so. So he should be looking for another meal. Perhaps tonight, even during the day, because it is quite cool. So he should be active. He looks like he's digested some of the steenbok, not as rotund as yesterday, but still looking quite full. There's barn swallows all around, and we've got the dam next to us, and the hippos in the dam. It's a lovely, relaxing way to spend the morning. And he took that cue to lie down. When I found him, he was actually on the dam wall and looking out towards the water in the dam. He's also enjoying himself. That was the hippo you just heard. The hippo was giving him the eye. But they both looked very respectful of each other. Look at those gorgeous rosettes. It's such an unfortunate thing when you see just how beautiful the leopard's coat is. It's one of the most gorgeous patterns in the bush. And you can kind of tell why people would like to have those feathers. It's just very unfortunate, but it is absolutely stunning. He is a magnificent leopard.
Welcome back, everyone, again. We are still here with our beautiful cheetahs. As you can see, they all lined up, facing same direction. They actually spotted a warthog from there far across, but we can't really see much because there's a bush around there. And the mom, she knows she's not going to take any chance for these warthogs because they can be dangerous to them. So she's still here at the moment. Actually, as you can see, haven't really decided what she's going to do for now. The cubs are a bit playing. Lazy down a little bit, lying down, and as you can see, well, it's like lazy morning for them now. Slowly getting there, because as you can see, it's a beautiful day here. It started getting a bit warm. Comparing early this morning, it was quite chilly, but now it's changed. Well, it's a lovely morning anyway. The mom, she's still doing the same thing every time. Checking, see if she spot anything. Only that warthog. It's amazing to see how the light on the side, and you can see more dark on the back when. How cool is that? The cubs are wonderful. Where they're lying down. Look at this, looking direct to us. No, she's going down again. The cub say, Mom, look what I'm going to do to you. It's amazing how they grooming each other like that. If you're looking how lazy they are now. Earlier on, the cubs were playing quite a lot. Yeah, it made us. Amazing to see how this black dot on there. It looks like she's not going to do anything for now. Looks like she's still. We'll just wait and see.
Okay. So we were driving around now, just looking for things, and then there's this rock that we always see, and we always say it looks like a pangolin. And today I thought I would actually get off the car and have a look at this rock a bit closer. So I'm not sure exactly what type of rock this is. I think it might be a piece of basalt, or yeah, I think it's basalt. The soil here is very dark, so it's definitely volcanic intrusive rock, or extrusive rather, with small crystals. But what's really interesting is the weathering that this rock has gone through. If you can see, it's got these sort of flakes of rock that have come off. Here's another one over here. You can see they're very flat. I don't know if the sun is very good. They're very flat in shape. And what's happened here is, as there's been heat and chemicals in about 4 degrees Celsius, and then it's going to warm up to maybe nearly 30 degrees. And so that heat and cold cycle, especially if it drops below freezing, these things can actually crack off and weather on different layers. So you can see the layering here, and you can see why we always say it looks a bit like a pangolin. It really does look like scales. And it's amazing. I was actually trying to see where these pieces fit off here, but very difficult to tell. But it's very interesting. It looks like a baby elephant. Maybe look a bit like a tiny baby elephant. That was a comment from one of the viewers. Now, it's just so interesting. I've never seen one this size with this exactly perfect kind of weathering pattern. But I know that this kind of rock might actually have a lot of iron in it, and that's why it's very red like this. And maybe that's what causes this banding. I don't know. It's very interesting. Some guides really know a lot about the different types of rocks, and it's very important as a guide, actually. I know the basics of what we need to know in order to find certain animals, because this rock here is weathering into fine, dark soils full of nutrients, which makes lots of trees like acacias and the small-leaved things with thorns. So like you can see behind us here, these are all knob thorns, all knob thorn trees. There's no vegetation left, no leaves. But in an area where you might find different types of rocks, like granite, much more pale rocks that makes sandy soils, you'll find more things like marulas. So it's just very interesting. I just thought I'd stop and show you this very interesting geological phenomena.
There's a big herd of elephants that just came down to drink, but you can see some of them have started turning around and they are moving away from the water. But earlier on, so just behind, you'll see behind the elephants, there's a dead tree now. Just behind that, Barney and the trackers were able to spot a leopard on the back of that. But unfortunately, there's no signal in that area. So we had to come back to the water's edge. But of course, then a whole herd of elephants came down to drink. So they just had a drink now. And slowly after a nice drink, the matriarch's probably leading them. And I'm sure they'll probably feed for quite a bit of the morning until maybe later in the afternoon, or maybe even tomorrow when they need another drink. But I just wanted to point out, so there's a vulture that's actually close to the water's edge here. Now, if you notice the sharp bill, the bit of pink around the face, and that bit of black around the eyes, almost like a bluish eye as well, brownish feathers, it's the hooded vulture. Now, when we go back to that carcass we spotted earlier up in the tree, the chances are that the hooded vultures might be around. Once you start seeing them around, of course the other vultures will start coming in as well. Now I'm wondering, we'll just wait for this vulture, and well, you can see the last few elephants have just disappeared into the trees in the back. You might even hear that there's a bit of a whistling noise, and that's just the wind. So the wind is slowly starting to pick up, and even if we go where that vulture is, and just above that towards the water, you might even see the little ripples on the water. See, it's not like a mirror. It's actually a little bit of ripples coming towards us. So the wind's blowing from where the elephants were towards us now. And it is slowly starting to pick up. And with this happening, there's a chance with the elephants, they will move into an area where, of course, they are out of the wind. And that's where they'll probably feed for the majority of the day. But earlier on, there were some impalas alarm calling in the direction of that impala carcass. So what we'll try and do probably is head back in that direction and see if there's any signs of leopard around there, because hopefully we'll have better signal in that area.
So, Veronica, this is insane.
with us here. She said she was here late yesterday afternoon. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Guys, the pups are out for the first time now. They are out for the first time. I'm going to talk softly. I'm not even going to go around to the other side in case I disturb them. You can see it's just popping up. This is insanely exciting. I am in seventh heaven here now. If they've popped out like this now, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep on coming out. And I'm almost speechless here. This is incredible. Incredible. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is nuts. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, this is what we've been waiting for 4 weeks now. In fact, over 4 weeks. I said, about 2 weeks they'll come out. And then just with these repeated cold snaps that we've been having, it just kept them underground. So there we go. First sighting of the baby meerkats. Oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, I'm just at a loss for words here. This is just too awesome. Oh my goodness, eh? It's just one that we can see for now, but we can actually hear more downstairs. And you can see how alert that little one is. It's watching us. Obviously, we're totally new to it. This entire environment outside is new to it. So Veronique, who's actually with us here now, our meerkat habituator, when Jandre and I got you now, she said actually she had a little sighting of them late yesterday afternoon. And remember how cold it was yesterday? So their foraging was probably not as great as it could have been, and that would have just been actually forcing these animals to come out now to try actually start foraging earlier. So this is just so incredibly exciting that this is the first sighting of these pups now. I am over the moon. And so I'm not walking around into frame. I want to move as little as possible. I'm just standing here behind Jandre, just keeping on this side so we don't put any kind of pressure on these pups. They will get used to our presence very, very, very quickly because the adults are relaxed, and you can see every time it pops out, it'll keep watching us, but it'll relax very, very quickly. Cheryl has just asked, are they so small that they would fit into the palm of your hand? Absolutely. Yeah, these meerkats are tiny, tiny, tiny still. So we're looking at 4 weeks, just under 4 weeks. 18th of June they were born. So they're just under 4 weeks of age. And so these are tiny. That'll fit very, very easily into the palm of your hand. So I am just absolutely over the moon now. Over the moon. I mean, this is, like I say, we've been building up to this for weeks now, and it's just really, really, really paying off. And I know all of you following us have had so much patience, because I've really been working up and any day now, and it just hasn't been happening. So this is just really the cherry on top. Oh my goodness, this is just like, I've been awake since 1:30 this morning. I haven't slept since 1:30, not just because we had a whole lot of buffalo around our house last night that were making a noise, and so I've just been awake and reading since then. And then, so that was a beautiful start to the day. Then just like a whole lot of like really incredibly awesome things in between then. And now to see this is just like, yeah, this is just brilliant. So, yeah, so 18th of June is what we worked back onto when they were born, when we first saw that the female had actually given birth. And so what's the date today? I don't even know what the date is. 16th, yeah, so they're just shy of 4 weeks now. And normally you'd see them in about 2 weeks, but with these successive cold fronts that have been pushing through, it's probably just, they've just probably been erring on the side of caution in terms of keeping them down. Sir has just asked, do we know how many pups there are? Veronique says she thinks 5, eh? Yeah, she says she saw 5 yesterday, very, very, very briefly. But yeah, so I guess 3. I wanted to err on the side of caution over there, so I said 3. I think Jandre said 4, and Veronique said 6. So I lose again, but I've won everything. Look what we've got here. Eh? And I'm so glad we just put in those hours with this group over the past couple of weeks, because, if we hadn't have done that, if we had said, oh, well, let's come here a little bit later, and, the habituation wouldn't have been anywhere near as good as it is now. So I think, and thank you everyone for just having the patience to stick with us through this, because that's really what it boils down to. It's just time and patience. So there's just one that's pops its head out every now and again, but over time they'll keep coming out more and more frequently. Yes, I'm ecstatic now. Yeah, this is so good. This has made it all worth it, eh? Angie has asked, will the pups forage with mom now? Not yet, not at this age. In a couple of weeks' time they'll be going out. At the moment they'll still be staying at the burrows with a babysitter. But what we're going to be seeing now, and this is where it gets really fun, now they're going to be going into a steep learning curve. So what we'll start seeing over the coming days, coming weeks at the burrows here, is these pups will be coming out more and more frequently above ground, even while the babysitters are out, and when the rest of the group's out, there'll be a lot of play activity. So Jandre and I may even pop back here occasionally during the afternoon sessions, and because the reason I say that is that it'll be warmer in the afternoon sessions, and now that we know for a fact that they are out, you'll find the activity may be better in the afternoons rather in the colder the mornings, because the afternoon temperatures will be hitting 15-16 degrees, which is better for them to actually be out. So, but thank you for joining us on this. This is just so exciting. I'm just over the moon. It's suckling. How cute is that? That is insane, guys. Oh my goodness, this is just like all my Christmases come at once, with a couple added. So this is a precocious little one, this one, eh? Sure, if he's out and about and the others are still down below, oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. He's having a nice warm milkshake early in the morning. And I mean, you can see the size from the question. Yeah. Briska has asked, will the mom ever lie down when the youngsters are suckling like other animals? Absolutely, 100%, no question. And so I think this little one's just taking a chance while mom's standing up there. So, well, that's convenient. But I'm really hoping that the other little ones will pop out just now as well. But this one's obviously like, ooh, look at this whole big wide world. Mom, why didn't you tell me about this earlier? If I'd known, I would have been out a lot sooner. Wow, this is... Yes, and I know you can't hear it from our mics, unfortunately, but we can, like say, the The sounds emanating from that burrow entrance are fantastic. There's a lot of like little chirping and growly sounds going on there. So the other youngsters are very, very, very close by her. This is just next level of cuteness, eh? That leading on from that other question earlier in terms of would it fit into the palm of your hand, this is just giving you a really nice idea of the scale there when that little one's sitting right next to mom like it. I mean, that is tiny. If you cup your hands, that animal would fit in your hand like it, that little one. And you must know how vigilant these adults are now that these little pups are out and crawling, because they also can't move, as you can see. Look at that. They can't move nearly as fast as the adults. So if there was danger close to the burrows, that little one wouldn't be able to dart down quite as quickly as the adults would. So these babysitters and the alpha female there, they've got their work cut out for them in a big way now in terms of vigilance for the threat of predation. Oh, wow. It's too exciting, too exciting.
Very, very exciting indeed. Hasn't it just been a wonderful morning? Dylan gets so excited, I just love it. Tingana, is it chilling? Can you hear the squirrels shouting at him? And they're quite far away. I definitely can't see them, they're quite far away. But they're still alarming. And that's one of the reasons, when we say that squirrels are kind of unreliable. It's not just because they alarm at smaller things that we may not be able to see. It's also because they see for quite a distance. So you may think that the animal is quite close, when in fact it is quite far away. He seems so relaxed. Ooh, I might have just heard elephants. The reason I came here was for elephants in the first place. So, you'd like to know if I know where the hook is. I wish I knew where the hook was. I've been looking in the west for any signs of him, but I haven't been able to find any. Hukumuri is a beautiful, beautiful leopard. I mean, they're all beautiful, but Hukumuri has a special place for me. I went through a period where I used to find him very often. But I don't know where he is at the moment. And the whole kind of dynamic on Djuma has changed in terms of leopards. As you know, we haven't been seeing a lot of them. Tingana has been hanging out in the north, which is why we're so happy that we're seeing him in Djuma a little more often. At least yesterday and today. And the presence of Mulwati seems to be
Welcome back, everyone, again. As you can see, we're still here with our beautiful cheetahs. Looks like she's just starting moving a little bit, but then she sat down again to be able to scan again, because she's been sitting here for a little bit longer now. I guess if she have to hunt, this is the time for her to start again to move along, because it's not very hot. It's still nice weather for her to be able to hunt. Maybe she still hasn't got any idea where to go from here. Well, as you can see, the cub is still just sitting here waiting for the mom signal to say what she's gonna do. Still quiet, not even one impala around or inyala. But I don't blame them, because this morning she came across a herd of impala. They make so much alarm call for warning for everyone around. That's why there's no impala around here today. So I think we're gonna move forward a bit, try a different angle, because yeah, so we'll try and see if we can get a better view from there. Got some water from the long distance. Okay. All right. Okay, copy. Well, it's a lovely, look how bright she is. Wow. It's awesome. And it looks like she starts scanning now. As you can see again, she's looking through to the woodland. See if she picked up anything. But so far, she hasn't decided yet. It's quite tough to be a mom for two babies actually like that. Because she has to deal with so many things. Other predators, like lion, leopards, she needs to be more aware of it. Because they can easily kill their cubs if she's not careful enough. Because even she making a kill, she need to make sure she make that silent kill, so that no one can able to hear what was happening. If you notice, maybe look, one of these cubs, one is a bit more dark comparing to the other one, but it's just behind the bushes. If they do come across in the open patch, just notice that they don't look exactly the same color. One look more like their mom, it's more light. One is a bit more dark. I think it's more like his father. Haley, they need to make, because they're hunting in more into the woodland, sometime more in a different spotted area. Haley, that's it much easier for them to be able to listen if they, especially if they're hunting or if it's any dangerous like coming towards them. Very good listening, Haley. Look how cute her face. And the cubs are still sitting right behind a small bush. Yeah, one of the cubs coming now, close to his mom, to see what is your plan for this morning, Mom? Looks like the time is gone. We'll just sit here and see what they gonna do.
Well, how incredible. Meerkat babies. That's very cool to see. I can't say I've ever seen any. Oh, we've found a little herd of zebra here. They're enjoying some of the long grass down in the drainage line here. Wonderful little dazzle zebras. The ability to chop the grass. So they've got teeth in the top and bottom incisors in the front of their mouth, so they're able to chop the grass down, and they actually facilitate it, removing longer grass, chopping it down, making it more acceptable to animals like wildebeest and impala. Those teeth not only used for feeding, but also male zebra fight and bite each other quite viciously. Quite a lovely scene here. The morning light with this little herd. Something's made a noise to the right here. That's got that female on the right attention. She's very interested in whatever it is that moved over here. The rest of the herd's looking very relaxed. Not sure what she saw, but I did hear something myself. And then she's going to relax again. So earlier we had those birds by the water, and we had the firefinches, and then there was a plain sort of female bird landed, and I managed to identify it as the female of the, what's it called again? Green-winged Partilia, which is my favorite little bird. When they're not in the light, it's very hard to really get a good idea of what they look like, but a little bit of a red rump. Males are gorgeous with a red mask. Previously known as the Melba finch, to any of you out there who've been birding before the 90s, before the 2000 changes of many of the bird names. You guys hear? Heard some elephants a moment before, having a bit of a scream south of where we are. Definitely wasn't them that's got the zebra's attention. Hello, striped horse. Are you 1.5 and zebras need to drink water? I don't know for sure if it's once or twice a day, but they will drink readily when available. And most of our animals will visit the water at least once. Some animals like buffalo probably twice. Obviously you have different days and different temperatures. They don't have as high a water demand as the ruminants do. Ruminants require enormous amount of water because the water helps to produce the saliva. And the saliva is actually loaded with the microorganisms that aid in the digestion of the food. But they will drink when available. Regarded as sort of mobile water dependent animals, the zebra move between 5 and maybe as far as 10 kilometers from water, but never going further than that. Okay, I saw what the zebra were freaked out about. It's just disappeared now, but there was a kudu that just crossed the road. And kudu are very stealthy. They make a little bit of noise sometimes and then they stand still. So the zebra was like, what made that noise? Kept looking. Okay, so we're going to stay here. Maybe see if we can get you a better view of these zebra.
Wild Earth relies on support from viewers like you to carry on broadcasting our daily live shows. A small donation goes a long way in helping us on our mission to connect the world with nature. Please visit our support page to see how you can help and become part of the Wild Earth family.
That would be awesome if an elephant would come through.
On our way. We're coming along to keep the cut line.
For us as well. Gotta love some elephants. Elephants just spice up a sighting. But then I think maybe we're being a little bit spoiled. And we have a lovely, lovely leopard. We can just enjoy him. That looks like a very, very comfy spot. So I was chatting to you about what my take was on the movements of the leopards lately, because we were asked about Hukumuri, and then I didn't realize that I was off air and I kept on talking and talking. But I was saying to you that Shidulu's hanging out in kind of the central areas, and I haven't seen tracks for Thandi and Cub. And Tingana has been using Galago Shortcut, we think, to move in and out of Djuma. So it's really nice to have him actually within the bounds of Djuma for the last 2 days. As for Mulwati, tracks for a big male all over the place, but I haven't seen him. In fact, I think... I must have seen him possibly even last year, when he was a brand new leopard. I don't even think he was named at that point. That was the last time I had seen him. And he is really changing up the dynamics here. Bob, you'd like to know if many big cats die of starvation on the reserve. That's an interesting question. Most big cats, or rather, let's speak about leopards in this case, the average lifespan for a leopard is about 15 years out in the wild. Anything between 12 and 17, but 15 is the average. And that usually happens as they age and they have a loss in condition. So the loss in condition means that their bodies are deteriorating. So how much food they are able to get will decrease. It's almost a bit of a cycle. They lose condition because of age. It means they eat less because they don't catch as much prey, and then they further lose condition. So it's not to say that it's a direct result, or deaths of big cats are not to say a direct result of starvation, but rather not being able to keep up with the competition around them. And remember, big cats, like most animals actually, are able to mate and reproduce until they die. And they need energy to be able to do that, and that means they need food to be able to do that. Once they become nomadic, which is what was suspected of Tingana, but I don't really think so. I think he's just moving into the northern part of his territory in order for self-preservation, so that he can not have to interact with Mawati. And I don't think that he's nomadic. When the last time we saw him, he's been scent marking and all those kind of things. It's all about self-preservation. And look at his condition. He looks excellent, even though he's 14 this year.
So I'm still buzzing here from seeing these little pups. And so they've actually just moved them to where Jeanre's got a visual on there. We've only seen 4, 2 and 2, but Veronica assures us there are 5 over here. But it seems that they've just moved them around to the right-hand side over there now, where Jeanre's got that one in shot there. Probably just to get them out the wind. Like I say, we're not going to be pushing at all whatsoever. We're going to keep our distance. I'm not even walking around to the other side just yet. I really want to give them as much space as possible for now. Anushka's just asked, will it be the same babysitter every day, or will they swap? They will definitely swap. It's also just otherwise that one won't necessarily get enough food, especially in these cold conditions. But with such a small group of meerkats, they've got very limited options. So, and also food availability is not an issue. Then it can be the same animal repeatedly, and it's normally the sub-adult females that are the babysitters. Occasionally they'll even leave more than one. And I think now that these pups are above ground more frequently now, or they're going to be above ground more frequently, also the likelihood of seeing more than one babysitter at a time increases. So whereas the pups were all underground, there was no movement up and down above ground, to get away with one babysitter would have been fine. But now as they're starting to move like this, I think that it's going to become more and more and more important that they actually have a second one. Look there, they're coming out under the bushes there. Look at that. Look. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. And it just shows you how small those pups still are. And that's at a month old already. Oh my goodness. Tiny. But also it shows you how fast they grow. In 1 month, that's the size that they've grown to. And of course, when they're born, they're ultrical. In other words, they're completely helpless. They can't do anything. The opposite extreme of that is something that's precocial. If you look at a hare compared to hares and rabbits, okay, these are not hares and rabbits. I'm just putting it out there. Those are lagomorphs. These are not. But if you look at hares and rabbits, a rabbit will be ultrical. In other words, the youngsters are born completely naked, blind, dependent on the parents. They're born underground in burrows. Hares are precocial, so the youngsters are actually up and ready to go within a couple of days after birth. They can almost fend for themselves. But these little guys are very, very much dependent on the mother for, like I say, certainly the first month and a half, 2 months before they actually can start foraging for themselves properly. But coming on from that, we're going to start seeing more and more behavior around the burrows where they're following the adults very, very, very closely in the immediate vicinity of the burrows. If the adults get anything to eat, the pups will run over to it and start begging, and normally the adults will just drop the prey item and let the pups feed on it. And that's an incredibly important part of them actually learning to hunt and forage for themselves. Yes, I'm so so relieved as well, because I've been very worried, and like I said yesterday with these super cold fronts that have come through, I've been very worried that it would possibly have an impact on these little ones. But now that I'm seeing them out with my own eyes, I can kind of take a deep sigh, and yeah, I'm very, very happy about this now, sure. Of course, we're still far, far off from being out of the woods. You know, we know there's badgers in the area, there's jackals, there's birds of prey, there's caracal, there's African wildcat, there's all sorts of things that they still have to contend with. But they will learn to contend with those, and that's just part of what a meerkat does. They're part of these ecosystems, as are predators of meerkats. So they know each other. Their history goes back millions of years. So look how small they are compared to the adults. Eh? It just gives you a really good idea of the size. Oh my goodness, this is just brilliant. And just Glow has asked, will we name these pups? You know what, I'm a big believer in this. It's like, I'm always like worried if you name something, it certainly creates a lovely attachment with people. But for me personally, I've always like had this thing about like, I'm always worried if I name something, something's going to happen to it. So, and I've got a long track record of things as well that I've had that with. So, but I think, yeah, I would be very comfortable if we did. And I think let's take it slowly, and over the coming weeks, as we see different personalities developing, then we can look at options of naming that. I would have absolutely no problem doing it, but it won't be me naming it, just to make sure that nothing happens to them. Call it my cross that I bear, my albatross hanging around my neck. And of course we'll get Veronique's input as well. She knows these animals super, super, super well. Oh, this is brilliant. What a way to start a morning. There are some better things, I can tell you now. But not many. This is just off the charts cute. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, this has been such a journey, you know, and we've spent so much time here. Genre's been so patient with the filming as well. You know, we keep coming back here time after time, and I'm very, very aware, I'm acutely aware there are some people that may not want to spend as much time with meerkats, and well, let's go look for other things than that. I am very much aware of that. I'm sensitive to it, but at the same time, you know, these things do take time. It takes patience. We can't just, you know, jump from one thing to another and expect us to have sightings like this just on the spur of the moment. So I would always err on the side of investing time and energy, patience, effort into something for it to pay off. Ooh, Butterflies asked a good question there. How much do they weigh at the moment? Those little pups are probably 150 grams. You know, they small. So they've got a stack of growing to do. But the nice thing now, you know, they're going to be off the mother. The mother's still going to be feeding them on milk for the next couple of days at least. But they're going to be going on to super high energy food items literally from now. Anyway, they're going to be starting to forage on, well, you know, when the adults are foraging around the burrows and digging up little worms, little grubs, scorpions, even things like that. They're going to be giving those to the pups as well. So they're going to be on super, super high energy foods in no time, and their growth rate is going to be very, very fast. You see, and that's the thing, it's sticking with them now is just going to be gold in terms of their behavior and seeing the speed, the rate that they grow at. There's something that's alerting them. Okay, there's some starlings that flew over, but there's something that's drawing their attention. Down to the left over there, there were some springbok in the far. There's giraffe coming over a dune. That's what they're watching. We won't go there because it's obscured from where Jeandre is. I think, but he's going to try shuffle that. He's going to try shuffle. Just have a look at this. Look at that on that dune crest in the far distance. That's what those meerkats are watching. Now, it's not because a giraffe's any threat to a meerkat, but it would have been, they would have just seen these little heads popping up. Is that an ostrich as well, Jeandre? What's that? On the right-hand side there. Behind, there's a giraffe behind. I think it's an ostrich. Yeah, there's two ostriches with a giraffe behind it. So, again, I'm not saying the giraffe would have been any threat to the meerkats, but it would have been this shape popping up on the horizon that would have drawn their attention, and that's what they would have started looking at. And now I'm looking at the meerkats now, and they've settled down completely. So, but it just shows how vigilant they are. Oh, this is brilliant. So you must just bear with me if I jump around a little bit. Woo, who has just asked a very interesting question there. The question is, would a giraffe break a leg by stepping into an into a burrow like this? We've actually seen that, not with giraffe. I think it would take a lot to break a giraffe's leg. Certainly the likelihood of that, I'm not saying it's impossible, but the likelihood must be very, very small. But we have seen animals with severely broken legs before. And yeah, normally the predators clean them up very quickly. But snapping a leg like that is, in an aardvark burrow, or a meerkat hole, or a squirrel hole, or whatever, if you chasing another, like an antelope, two bulls fighting maybe, or you're running away from a predator, or whatever, but if you run and step into a hole like this, yeah, I think the chance of a broken leg is very high. Oh, what a morning. What a morning. It's just getting better and better and better.
Thanks, Dylan. Well, we've got a bunch of very thirsty-looking nyalas. We first thought there was only one, and as you spend more and more time, they just keep emerging from the vegetation. Like the birds, they also will come down together as a group. It's a bit windy, so they're a bit jumpy. Isn't that special? We're now in the heart of Djuma at Chelapan, and when I said earlier about dense vegetation around watering holes often doesn't work for animals, they won't come out because the thickness obviously is very ideal for ambush predators. Those of you who spent a lot of time watching the show will notice how Hosana used to spend an enormous amount of time in the smallest bush possible next to Vuetelapan, and he caught so many animals that way. So leopards will use that sort of cover, and so animals are reluctant to go out on their own, but they will drink in a group. Lots of eyes, lots of ears, and hopefully the leopard catches someone else. A very good example of the sexual dimorphism there between the male, oh, he's having a little bit of a sniff, and the female nyala. The sexual dimorphism, oh, pushing her into the water, that's very rude. Sexual dimorphism, everybody, is the difference between male and female, and it's so pronounced in nyala. First of all, the size. He's far bigger. And he's got horns. That's all you really notice in the kudu is the size and the horns. But the nyala, the male, has got that white sort of line of fur on the back. He's a chocolatey brown colour with orange socks that match the nyala females, which means he is playing for the home team, wearing the same socks. But he's far bigger, far more sexually dimorphic. So if you ever hear that term, sexual dimorphism, it's to do with the difference between the male and female. For example, in Steenbok, you'll only notice that the male has got horns, the female doesn't. There's no other real difference between them. Jackals, it's near impossible to tell the difference. We're going to probably move off as we watch our nyalas disappear into the thickets.
After spending the whole morning looking for leopard and then eventually finding the one and it was in a bad signal area and then coming back towards that impala carcass, we managed to find the Mokoti male, so that young male leopard that basically came back to make sure that nothing will steal the carcass or even come close to it. He's just lying down a few meters away from where the carcass is, and just probably is going to spend the time here until he's ready to go and have a little bit more of the carcass. But how amazing is this? Now, from where he's lying down, just off to the right of the screen, you'll see there's quite a few big trees. Now, the carcass is just on that side. So early on, as we got here, he was moving towards the carcass. We thought, we might just get him up in the tree. So we looped around into the river, and as we got there, decided to come back and lie down in the shade here. But I just wanted to point out, especially on this young male. Now, sometimes we do say, it's a young male, and this is how we know it's this one. So let's say if you didn't know which particular male this was because you couldn't see with the stripe pattern or anything, often how we can identify them is look at the ears. So often the younger a leopard would be, the more perfect the ears would be. So sometimes an old leopard would have quite a few tears in the ear. Maybe the nose would also have quite a few markings around the nose, like on that bridge. The nose might be a little bit dark in color, but you can see very delicate face, well-rounded ears, and not a lot of scars. He is a good-looking male. Look at those long white whiskers as well, and beautiful, like a yellowish, greenish color eyes. But this whole morning I've been listening to all the rangers across all the different reserves, and it sounded like such an amazing morning with everything that has been seen. And of course, for us seeing this leopard, and hopefully this afternoon with the drive, we can come back here and see if we can find him again. And you never know, maybe there might be some hyenas moving in the area, and then he'll move back up into the tree. But for now, we just want to say from our side, from here and beyond Ingala, we hope that everyone has a lovely afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you this afternoon.